Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias. I just uploaded Flip the Script episode 6, and in that video I flipped my BB Superfly, which legitimately was not meant to be a tease or a hint of any sort. But sometimes it is funny how life works out that way. I have a package here from BBBarfly that we are going to check out today in this video. Now actually, it seems that wasn't the only thing included in this package. It seems that we also, I kind of like this trend. There's been a trend lately that I've noticed of companies including stands with their balisongs more often, or at least like, ooh, wait, what is going on here? Actually, what is going on here? This is pretty cool. There's been a trend of companies making stands and stuff for their products lately, which I have really liked. I'm wondering if this side is like more for displaying the whole balisong, and then this side is if you want the branding for BBBarfly. Although it feels like there's something important that's supposed to go. I genuinely don't know. That'll be something to take a look at later. But this, if I have all correct in my head, is we got a dual tone one. That looks super cool. This is the BBBarfly Superfly-AL, also known as the first iteration, according to their website, of the BBWildFly platform. So while officially on their website, this is the BB Superfly-AL, I am just going to call this the Wildfly for now. I don't really know how that's going to evolve, because they do specifically say it's the first iteration of the Wildfly. And in case you don't know what that is, well, it should be fairly simple once you see it. It is an aluminum version of basically the BB Superfly, kind of. You'll notice a few differences. It's not sandwich like the Superfly is, and you're actually missing these two holes here that both kind of surround each side of the hole pattern here. You just go straight into the hole pattern. The hole pattern is much longer. So rather than being a Superfly aluminum version, it's more a Superfly inspired aluminum version. But still, you can see where the similarities may come in, and you can also see the BB Barracuda blade. Actually, it says Superfly on the blade, so I guess this is a Superfly-AL. I'm going to call it that then. You can't argue with what's literally on the blade right there. I don't know, because this is technically a Barracuda blade. My favorite, hands down, of BBBarfly's blade options that they make. But this is exciting for actually a reason that I didn't realize, because according to their website, this is 7075 aluminum, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is the first time that we have seen 7075 aluminum on a BBBarfly product, which is doubly exciting for me because all of BBBarfly's previous products were 6061, like the Superfly, excuse me, that's the one thing that isn't, oh my goodness, like the Barracuda, like the Barfly, like the Firefly. Those were all some sort of softer aluminum, and those things were still tanks. So the fact that we now have a 7075 aluminum one, this thing is just going to eat drops even better. This comes in at $160, although as I record this, there's like a intro sale for $140. I will be judging this at its normal price, not its sale price, but that sale price is a pretty good deal if you want to get in on some early savings. I guess I haven't flipped it yet, so I can't say that it's a good deal, but compared to the MSRP normal price, it's a good deal. Cool. Let's flip this thing, because I'm excited to flip this thing. It feels less bulky. I thought I had a Firefly out. I guess I don't. Oh well. Let's get, oh, that felt very strange. Let me just flip my Superfly really quick. Since this is kind of going to probably be the biggest comparison point. I mean, wow, I just launched that into my microphone. That sucks. The biggest comparison point is the Barracuda, but I don't have that on me currently. I sent it out on loan to the ever wonderful Bally Unk. So if you've been seeing his streams where he's been making videos about the things that I sent him, my Barracuda was in that lot. So I don't have this for direct comparison. However, in the follow-up video, I will make sure that I'm able to directly compare them, considering they're from the same maker in generally the same price range. There is a very aluminum ring to this, probably from these speed channels here, which I actually do really like the sides of this thing. I like the overall feel of this thing in general. BBBarfly's previous aluminum feels bead blasted, and I believe it is bead blasted, but this is a much smoother, almost satiny, Kraken-esque finish. Especially this jimping is giving me big Kraken vibes. And although it feels very rough on the fingers, not the greatest grip, not bad by any means, not the worst jimping that I have felt. Oh my goodness. But not as sharp as it feels when you initially run your finger over it. This flips awesomely, but also kind of weirdly. With BBBarfly stuff, I'm so used to there just being a crap ton of handle weight. Even the Barracuda, which I believe is one of the most neutral things you can get from Barfly, save for maybe the Superfly without the weights, although there's still a good bit of handle weight there. This might be the most neutral thing that they have ever put out, because I'm expecting there to be just a ton of weight down here, but it really doesn't feel like there is. In fact, I'm getting this sensation of like there's a difficulty to fan to it. When I go into a fan like this, sometimes it hesitates a little bit. And that's a characteristic that I usually associate with like more blade weight than handle weight. Some of the Balisongs that I've flipped in the past that I really haven't liked because of that blade kind of lag issue. Something like the Akuma Matata. That was a very blade-weighted Balisong. Not to say that this is anywhere near that. I'm not experiencing that to the same degree, but there is that tiny little bit of hesitation. Can my voice just work today, please? There is a tiny bit of hesitation when I go to fan sometimes. Not the greatest thing ever, but then once I get into the fan, it carries its momentum beautifully throughout the whole thing, which is something the Akuma Matata didn't do, which is why I didn't like it that much. So I'm not going to dock it too many points for that, especially as I'm getting used to this. But I actually really like how this flips. This, holy crap, is my first ever black and red Balisong, I'm pretty sure. That can't be true. Is that true? I don't think I have a single black and red Balisong in my entire collection. This is my first one. I'm going to have to fact check that. My case is an absolute mess. I'm not even going to open it right now. Do I have any other red Balisongs? I know I have a red Balisong, but I don't have a black and red one, do I? No, the Kite AL. Never mind. Never mind. Forget all that. I have the Kite AL. We're good. But my first red product from BBBarfly, I've got a purple one, a black and blue one, a silver one. I think that's it. And Ty had the teal one back when he had the Firefly V1. I really like how this flips. Despite the fact that it feels very neutral, almost like that fanning issue makes me almost think this is a tiny bit blade biased. It feels very neutral. I'm not getting a ton of weight hotspots like I usually do from BBBarfly products. Like usually there's a pretty big weight hotspot in the end of the handles. I'm not feeling that. They do advertise an adjustable weight system, meaning I'm assuming you can take these screws out at the bottom. I think that would almost make it too blade weighted. Maybe not though. Maybe it would kill the momentum. I feel like it would just kind of ruin the flipping experience, but that's something I'll have to check out at a later date. I actually really like how this flips. It carries momentum well, despite not having that usual kind of BBBarfly end of the handle weight, at least to my hands right now. These are all first impressions. Obviously, this could all change by the time I do the follow-up video. So please come back and see how my opinions on this thing change throughout the time that I spend flipping it over the next little bit. But this might be the most competitive, quote-unquote, flipper that Barfly's released yet, minus maybe something like the Superfly. But I actually really like it. So it carries enough momentum despite not really feeling like it has a ton of weight down here. And everything else feels super distributed. Like I'm not getting a ton of weight hotspots anywhere except maybe the tip of the blade is carrying a bit more momentum here. Chaplains perform just as you would expect from a BBBarfly. Actually, maybe a little more unstable than you're used to for a BBBarfly, but again, we're talking about chaplains that are notoriously stuck to your finger. So it's not like concrete to your finger anymore. It's more like wet concrete to your finger. It still sticks, but not as well. That kind of fell apart because hardened concrete doesn't stick to anything. Oh well. I don't know. It's been a long day, man. It has been a very long day. Yeah, it doesn't stick as much as you would expect from a BBBarfly product, but I would still put it as an average chaplain. Like, it's not wanting to fly away from me. 0Gs. Same story, although maybe a little stickier on the 0G there. That did not inspire... That did not inspire confidence. In other words, that inspired confidence. I need to end this video immediately. Holy crap. I cannot form a coherent sentence. Holy crap. It's over for me. The rust has set in, but on my speaking abilities. Does anyone remember that video? It's a throwback to... It's like the last... I'm just ranting at this point. Yeah, the 0Gs actually kind of feel more confidence-inspiring than the chaplains do, which is strange. Because usually if a chaplain's a little bit unstable, the 0G is not going to be much better, but I think the 0G actually is notably better here. I love the feeling of the handles. I love that they ditched the bead blast. Maybe it's bead blasted, but it doesn't feel as bead blasted. You'll have to check back in on the follow-up video when I'm able to compare it to the Barracuda. Because in my defense, it's been maybe about a month since I've touched that thing. So, but otherwise, man, I actually really like this. No discomfort anywhere that I'm feeling. Flipping experience. Besides the little hesitation on the fan, I am really enjoying. Probably one of the more neutral experiences from Barfly. So if that's something that you're looking for, maybe put this on your radar. If Barfly has been a brand that you like, but you don't like that kind of heavier handle bias signature. And speaking of signature, it's not as thick as any of their other ballast songs. If we take something like the Orion V1, it's actually around the same size exactly. So if you also don't like that kind of signature Barfly thickness, this does get rid of it. It's pretty much exactly the same size as the Superfly in terms of thickness. I think the Superfly handles are a little wider this way. Otherwise, I gotta say I actually like this. So I'm gonna flip this for a little bit, see how my opinions on it develop, and we will see you again when I've developed my opinions and I do the follow-up video. So come check that out. I'll do some more direct comparisons, tell you if this thing is worth your time and money. And we'll see how it goes from there. Huge thank you to BBBarfly. I'm sorry I'm only mentioning this now, for sending this out. They did send this out for free for the purpose of these videos that I will make on it, but any and all opinions expressed are my own, and I'm not financially affiliated otherwise with BBBarfly in any way. So huge thank you to them for sending this thing out. Always a pleasure to check out their stuff, and I will see you all, thank you very much for watching, in the next one. Later.